the Canon disc when I said it was lost. So let me check this out now.
100 years during the Habsburg era. I always say that the 40 years of communism was nearly nothing.
Yeah, compared to everything.
Yes, I mean, perhaps in a couple of years it will be only one sentence in the history book, you know. The communists arrived 45, they stayed here 89. The Mongols, actually Genghis Khan died in Mongolia in 1242. And that's why they had to rush back from East Europe to choose a new leader, to choose a new king. But Mongolia and the Mongolian tribes still exist in Mongolia today.
So everyone left?
They came here, well, part of it stayed here, like parts of the Turks stayed here, part of the Habsburg stayed here. But basically they rushed back to Mongolia because the Mongolian king died in 1242. And instead
they were not an agrarian.
Pardon me?
They were not agrarians.
No.
So I mean, they just seem to be moving all the time.
Yes,
so
yes.
Why would
They stayed here for 1 year. Actually, they took slaves from Hungary back to Mongolia.
The Mongolians nomads too?
And actually, they wanted to conquer.
Okay, these are the Arpads, the tribe of Arpad, somewhere in China, they think. They do not have Chinese features on these statues, but they probably were originally Oriental looking, she said. This was 896 when the Arpads came in, and that is when they say Hungary was formed in the year 896. 1,000 years later, they built the street behind me that I'll scan in honor of the 1,000-year anniversary, 1896. They built the subway and widened the street and made a Champs-Élysées-like environment here.
The Gabors were Hungarians, yes, Sasha Gabor. We have a lot of Hungarians. Theodor Herzl was Hungarian, who had the dream of. Second on your left-hand side, here you can see another beautiful building. This was, during the communist regime, the main ballet school. You know that in Hungary, we have this sort of what we call Russian ballet, the Kiev. But the school moved out of this building. They opened up another new building.
Hello.
In the 12th district. And famous Hungarian painter called Karl Lotz. We're going to see some of his painting at the St. Stephen's Cathedral. Let's say for dinner. But they have to sing all kinds of different types of operas. Oh, so while they are floating around with the plates from one table to another, they have to sing different opera songs. So it's quite went through the first democratic election. Until 16 years ago, we had the communists as leaders.
Today we're in front of St. Stephen's Cathedral. We're going inside. It's not a basilica. They call it a basilica, some people, but it's St. Stephen's. And we're going to hear the story of St. Stephen in a minute. That must be him right there. This is St. Stephen's with the big beautiful doors.
Ladies and gentlemen, now you are in the St. Stephen's Cathedral. You can hear the organ. It's just behind us or up above us. We have quite often organ concerts. For example, on the 10th and on the 3rd of August there was and there will be an organ concert. That's why the organ player has a rehearsal now, because this church or this cathedral has the best acoustics from all the cathedrals of Budapest. First of all, because it's made out of marble. And you know, the marble is absolutely perfect for acoustics. That's why they use the marble as a stone in Greece to build their theaters, and also in Rome it was used. And also this cathedral is completely built out of marble. At the main altar, what is very unique, you can see the statue of our first king, King Stephen I. And normally, by a Catholic church, the Catholic church is not allowed to put any kings or queens at the main altar. But because Stephen in 1001 started to spread the Christianity in Hungary, and because later on he was called a saint, that's why it's allowed his statue. White Carrara marble, we don't have that marble in Hungary, we had to buy it from Italy. It took us more than 50 years long because the dome collapsed twice. It was built by 3 Hungarian architects and 2 of them simply couldn't build a proper dome. And that's why the third one, Nicholas Ebel, who finished up the cathedral, he could build a dome, 96 meters of course the height again of 1896. Now the whole cathedral was restored and reconstructed 4 years ago. The marble was polished up, the golden decoration was re-golded or repainted again with a very special technique which is done with quite a good rate. In front of us on the right hand side of the street you see that black.
Well, we're in the tour shop now. Here's all the little gifts you can buy. Little guys. Look like they're Mexican faces here. Angels. And there's your froggy guy. So you want 2 or 3 different kinds of paprika?
I don't know yet. Let me look. We have 10 more minutes.
You want to do what?
We have 10 minutes.
Yeah, you got time. And here's the samples of paprika. 70 different kinds of paprika vegetal plants they have here. Okay, here's another view of the cathedral. Also known as a basilica, built and finished in 1905. The windows that are in here are the same artist that we're going to see in the synagogue in a few minutes.
It's always the mother is important, but I am very proud of my Catholic father. My Catholic father in the Holocaust, hidden in the Budapest ghetto, 200 Jews. Everybody survived the Holocaust, and my father has a posthumous Yad Vashem medal. This is Hasidei Umat Haolam. These people get who saved Jews in the Holocaust time. When the ghetto was liberated. Anyway, we are now in the heart of Pest side. Pest side was a small suburb town, and when the synagogue, the Dohány Street Synagogue was opened, that was a big Jewish quarter. I should like to mention that this part of the town had no synagogues. The Jews prayed at a Catholic family. They are here. Today, if somebody visits the castle, not far from the King Matthew Church are the ruins of 2 Ashkenaz and 1 Sephardic synagogue ruins. Also, you know, in the States are a lot of Shlomo Schechter universities. This man was a rabbi.
Just turn the lights on in here. We got a little more light.
The ghetto, they didn't went to a synagogue, they didn't went to a church, they went to the city council. And my father never spoke about this, that, he didn't liberate it.
This was the ghetto area during the war, the last 2 years of the war.
We had to use this part of the courtyard, the garden, to bury the people. It's very sad things. Most of the people who were buried here, they are children and old people. That was a very cool winter, in 1944 December. Today are here the 3,000 innocent people once, is also a Jewish tradition. When once we buried the people, we not move them. This is the courtyard of the school in the movie. The same happened here. The Nazis selected the families here. You will go to Auschwitz, you will go to Dachau, Mauthausen, Ingolstadt. That's happened here. And the people who traveled from the suburb for the 600,000 Jews.
This is
and I
a
am very
steel
proud of our
weeping
young
willow
Prime
tree.
Minister. 3 months ago was Yom HaShoah. Yom HaShoah is the International Holocaust Day, and we had an empty leaf and to write the name